I'm sure you've seen ads for reverse mortgages, the ones that kind of feature those spiffy convertibles that we all loved and lusted after as teenagers. Reverse mortgages can be a very helpful thing for a lot of people, but they're not for everybody, and there are certain dangers. I'm going to talk about them as well. If you're over the age 62 and you have some equity in your house, and that means that your house is worth more than you owe on it, you could get a reverse mortgage. The bank will make you a loan. And how they will give you that money, most people take it like in a monthly payment. Sometimes they use it kind of like a line of credit that they take out when they need it. There are certain advantages to a reverse mortgage. One is that the money coming to you, your monthly payments, or when you take it as an advance, is not taxable income to you, so you don't have to pay taxes. Second of all, it's not going to affect your Social Security benefits. However, there is one danger, and the danger is if you are right in difficult times and may have to turn to public assistance. If you get a reverse mortgage and you're getting money out that way, the money you get out may make you ineligible for public assistance. So that's something to be aware of. Now, how much can you borrow on your house? Depends on the value of your house, depends on your age. If you want a rough idea, you can go to aarp.org, and there is an online calculator where you put in some variables and it will give you a rough idea of what the loan might be. Now, you may never have to pay off that loan. If you stay in the house until you die, the house then goes to your heirs or whatever, and they will have to pay off the mortgage. And maybe that's a clever way of getting back at them. However, realize this, that these loans are very expensive. Not only does the person who's paying back, and by the way, if you decide to move early before you die, you're going to have to pay off, or that will be a lien on the house, so it's going to have to be paid off. So that's one factor to consider. And it's also a lot of money. Not only do you have to pay back the money you borrowed and all the fees that are associated with getting the loan, but also you're going to have to pay back the interest that they were charging you. And note that the interest is known as kind of compound interest. If you pay 7% the first year, well, you don't actually pay that back, but that's added to the principal. So now we have 7%, and we'd be 7% of the amount that is interest, and that can accumulate rather quickly. So these are expensive loans. Obviously, or maybe not obviously, when you have a reverse mortgage, you still have to pay for the insurance on your house, you have to pay property taxes on your house, and you have to keep up your house. Now, the National Consumer Law Project has found that there is a lot of fraud now going on with reverse mortgages. And that is brokers kind of pushing these products because they make a big fee if they sell them. They sell them to people who may not know them, who may not need them. They also sell them or misrepresent various terms. So be leery of it. Now, how do you protect yourself? First of all, there is a federal program. It's called HECM. That stands for Home Equity Conversion Mortgage. Various banks will sell them or will use them as their loans. Never get a reverse mortgage that is not one of these HECM mortgages because they're not regulated at all. Also, if you're in the market, shop around. Different banks will offer different interest rates, may charge more or less in terms of the fees. Some credit unions are starting to offer reverse mortgages, and that would be a good place to look. The major thing, though, and this is required if you're going to go through the federal program, is that you sit down with a counselor before you get a reverse mortgage, okay? And that is really important. It probably will take an hour to do that, but they will help you think through whether or not you really need a reverse mortgage. You got to realize this, that the equity in your home, for most of us, is our major asset. So you don't want to just throw it out there without giving it very, very, very close thought. Now, because once it's gone, if you have down the road a medical emergency, or if you want to maybe move into assisted living, something like that, your equity will be gone. So you want to save your equity if you can. First question is, do you really need the money? Never use a reverse mortgage to get money to invest, because you're paying interest on the money you get. And there aren't very many of us that can play the market and get more money in stocks and bonds than you're paying the bank in interest. I don't think you should use that money to go on trips. And again, why is that? Because unless you're pretty well off, that is your major savings for future emergencies. Home improvements. Oftentimes people use these for home improvements, and that's a legitimate use. In some states, there's something called a public sector home mortgage or home reverse mortgage. And those are lower costs. And if you're thinking of a home improvement, check in your state to see if they have those kinds of programs, because they're much better. Even if you really do need the money, first question. Second question, is there other ways that you can get it? A lot of you go maybe to the bank and get a home equity loan, and you could do that. Or you might at this point consider selling your house, moving to a less expensive house, moving into assisted living. If you want help, the AARP.org has a lot of information on reverse mortgages, and HUD, HUD.gov, also has a plethora of pamphlets and checklists for reverse mortgages. One thing that I think everybody agrees with, however, never get a reverse mortgage to buy that spiffy convertible you couldn't get when you were a teenager. It is now too late.